Stephen and Mel has talked about how season 8 is kind of like a little bit of a different format. Like they're wrapping up a lot of storylines. How has season 8 felt different than season 7?
Well, it's been a really special season, and I think that's why fans are going to love it so much, because the writers had the opportunity to know that it was the last season. They were able to think about, okay, we have 10 episodes. How do we want to close up this story?
Yeah.
And they've done it in such a beautiful way, and that each episode sort of pays respect to an element that has made Arrow Arrow. So, for example, in the first episode that we saw the other night, it's the pilot, and it goes back and brings back Colin Donnell and Susanna Thompson and John Barrowman, who were so iconic in the first couple of seasons, to get to see them again, kind of see the origins of the story happen all over again in a slightly different way. We start to see that throughout the season. You know, there's every episode highlights something that has been so instrumental to the journey, and adding new people into it and new situations. It's all building up to the crisis, which is the crossover this year.
Yeah. What is it like? Because obviously she's a fighter. Do you do any crazy stunts?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And you do them by yourself?
A lot of them. This is the thing with Arrow, is that, so for Shadowhunters, when I started that show, I had no idea how to throw a punch. I didn't know how to hold a sword. I didn't know how to do anything. And the trainers on that show worked with me 3 to 5 times a week. I was always in there training with them in the stunt room, and they taught me everything I know. They made me a fighter, and I have so much respect for them for that, because by mid-season 2, I was doing most of my own fighting and stunts. So now getting to go over to Arrow, I can bring that with me.
Yeah.
Arrow's stunts are a lot more intense and a lot more dangerous at times. We have a lot more things exploding. We have a lot of things that happen, and a lot of hard falls, and I get punched in the face a lot. So, a lot of the stunt-based stuff, it's kind of 50-50. But when it comes to the fighting, they do let me do a lot of it myself, which, given that it's such an instrumental part of the character, it's something that I love doing.
Right. Because it just always feels, I think, more genuine. You feel like you're probably portraying the character more when you actually get to do all the crazy stuff that she's doing. Fans are so excited to see this final season wrap up. And I think a lot of people are hoping that Mia could potentially meet her father. Do you think?
Are they now?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that if that were to happen, and I know it's been rumored, and I can neither confirm nor deny, what I can say is that if Mia and Oliver ever did meet, it would rock both of them beyond comprehension. Yeah. Just because, especially for Mia, she's had such a kind of difficult relationship with her father, because she's never had a relationship with her father. He disappeared when she was a baby, and she's grown up living in the shadow of his legacy and living with the fact that he gave up seeing her grow up to save strangers. And that's kind of a thing that she gets it, because growing up, the daughter of a vigilante, you understand the concept, but until you live that life and until you understand the person, you can't really come to terms with that. Yeah. So she's harbored a lot of resentment for her father her whole life, and even though she respects his legacy, it's still difficult.
Yeah.
Because those things are so deep within her very being.
Right.
So if that ever did happen, there'd be a lot of baggage to go through.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. And I want to say, like, you had a pretty big character departure. Emily Rickers, who played Felicity, is not on season 8. How has kind of the atmosphere been, the set was, without her there?
Well, Emily is such an iconic part of Arrow, and it's, even just on set culture, Emily is the life of the party always, and just such a light. I had such a wonderful time working with her, and it was such a privilege to get to spend so much time with her last season. And I know Stephen loved working with her as well. So we do feel her absence, and it's felt both in character and in social life on set. But what's great about it is that because she did have such an influence and she left such a mark on it, her absence is almost a character in and of itself. And you see these characters dealing not only with that, but the things that they're facing moving forward. And you feel her presence even though she's not actually there.
Yeah. We saw recently that you are going to be at the center of this Arrow spinoff.
Yeah, we're
that
doing
was
a backdoor
announced.
pilot. Yeah.
Can you explain to me what a backdoor pilot is?
Yeah,
because I saw that and I was like, I don't really know what that means.
So basically, I always forget these terms that are kind of inside baseball when it comes to the entertainment industry. But a backdoor pilot is basically episode 9 of Arrow is the first episode after the crossover this season. And what they're doing is it's the beginning of the epilogue of the series.
Okay.
And they're kind of showing the next chapter in Mia's story.
Okay.
And kind of what happens.
And then that can be taken
if they so choose.
If they so choose
Yeah.
for a possible spinoff, which would be
amazing.
so awesome because it would be kind of like a female driven.
Yeah, it's really
show.
interesting to see what they're going to do with I honestly don't know much yet about it because it's such a brand new kind of concept. But we're going to see what happens and it'll be really exciting.